of day 7 of the 8-day process. So there was no food or water for day 3, 4, and 5. And at the end of that, I weighed 136.4 pounds, something like that. I had lost just about 10 pounds. And I was marveling at how all the weight loss came out of my waist. My breast size did not shrink, and my legs were still sporty and muscular looking, and just like the shape of the body just looked like the way it was when I was 18. And so there's a little voice in me that says, oh, what's going to happen when I start drinking or eating? Well, 10 pounds right back. And today's the end of day 7 already, so it's been like a day and a half of drinking. At first light fluids and gradually heavier fluids. Today some fruit juices. And actually today I have found a better balance point. Yesterday I drank too much and I could feel it was obstructing my breathing a bit. And yet surprisingly, I've gained 0.2 pounds with tons of fluids that I've been drinking. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow or when I go home, but there's just this sense of trusting that the body is finding its new equilibrium now. That the weight will probably not come back because the way that it came off feels to me having more to do with reprogramming the cells, shedding old belief systems, clearing out the emotions associated with old memories, much more than the eating or not eating. Because the truth is I felt completely fed and healthy and not hungry during that entire time. And then the energy that's been birthing within this vessel took some time to calibrate and stabilize. And actually the last day or so I've noticed a lot of change. Even today compared to yesterday, compared to the day before, I feel really strong and fortified. And if I didn't have a scale, I would say, oh, maybe I gained all 10 pounds back because I don't feel fluffy and floating and light. I feel anchored to this earth. I feel meaty and strong and full of vitality and full of muscles. The way that people say, oh yeah, if you eat a big heavy steak, you feel fortified. I feel fortified in that way. And this is just from living on light. So just marveling at this little tiny fragment of this huge, vast experience that's happening here is just what the physical body is manifesting now. It seems like everyone has a different 8-day experience. For me, I feel ready to put on my running shoes and go run a marathon, go ride my bike, go swimming again. I don't feel weak at all. I feel full of chi and vitality, and I feel like my original sporty self, except better, happier, lighter, and having access to so much more potential now.
And actually, the process, it was intended, designed for this infinite source that sustains us to be at this way. To in the 7th day already feel the presence of it, integrated, and the day 8 is the day in which it's all sealed, it's complete. So through your words, I see the process day by day doing the job. And that is the way how it should be, allow ourselves to gradually enter in the assimilation and the activation of our inner capacity to assimilate this source. So passing from one state of consciousness, directing our focus to the subtle energy in a gradually way in which we don't feel that much those changes or we take that step in a subtle way that we feel comfortable doing this transition.
That is something I wish I had said on your Alegría show, is how amazingly easy the process has been. If I were to share with the world one really just shocking thing about this 8-day process, is that there has been no struggle or suffering, or, it wasn't like I have to work really, really hard to gain these benefits. I had no idea it could be so easy. So natural.
Enjoyable process.
Yeah, so enjoyable.
And that was my, when this started coming, I was like, I want to make it enjoyable. I feel like this is something so beautiful, so natural, that it should be really enjoyable, So, yeah, it is. It's so simple that there is no reason to make it harder, to make it difficult. It's so simple that it manifests also the simplicity of the process, the nature, the logical aspect of the process. It is represented to the easiness that is being experienced through the process, perfection of it.
I think I had this realization on maybe day 3 or 4 that this is the easier way to be. The other way was a much harder way to be.
Yeah, it keeps growing from here. Every time it becomes more easy, or you realize that just the radiation of the energy of happiness that you are carrying within is already bringing resources and bringing experiences that continue developing your life in a way in which you are feeling good permanently. And also like the magic of life, not just feeling good, but sometimes things that you see like, wow, it's so fast, wow, this is magic, magic, I feel like it's bringing the fantasies, the things that are impossible, that used to be impossible, those fantasies become reality. So it's like bringing the fantasies to the reality, to the life experience, all your fantasies.
It's hard to imagine it getting better, but I'll take your word for it. So far, it seems like the last 7 days has been true. One day better than the next, better than the next, better than the next. So I have no reason to doubt that it will just keep going like that.
So tomorrow they're gonna measure your pulse again.
I don't know. I think the only reason we measured is because after 3 days of not eating and drinking, we thought, oh, she would be so weak and so dehydrated, and you can really see those things, the weakness, the dryness in the pulse, and there was none of that. But I didn't need them to tell me. I felt the tongue had plenty of moisture. I didn't feel dry or hungry or thirsty, or I just wanted to sleep. I didn't feel weak. I wanted to sleep to integrate. Yeah.
For me, it was interesting that that your friend measured the karma aspect. That for me, that's new. And to see how during the 8 days you have erased that, that she was not able to really
find
found
the
it.
karma in the pulse. Yeah.
Because for me, that means a lot. That's like the end of a lifetime of energy charges upon you. It's like cutting the chain, like breaking the chain to be you, the owner of that space.
Yeah, the end of needing to reincarnate in order to learn lessons one lifetime at a time.
Hmm.
That business is coming to an end. Lifetimes can just be collapsed into this now moment.
Yeah, also I feel the same. I feel like that in this lifetime we already finished that whole path. And I feel like I have finished my search. That I'm not searching anymore for what I used to search before, Now I don't feel like, I feel just that I'm already in the perfect place, in my home, in this beautiful present. And I feel myself being that present, and I am that space in which I was wondering to be before, that light, that search for the peace, for the harmony, for God, that take me to travel for so many places, to meet so many people, to work so many within me in so many levels, that I finally feel that I am in the place that I was looking for. So the path ends, the search ends. I'm not searching anymore. I'm just enjoying the place that I already found. That must be related with this about the karmas and all that, because maybe in this lifetime we came here to work in those karmas.
Mm-hmm.
But what happened when we already have finished working with those karmas,
Yeah.
and we are still here alive? Like, all right, I finished my path already. I made my thing, so now I'm just going to enjoy it
Yeah.
and see what's new from this. Now maybe I can just radiate this knowledge to the people the way how I did it, or maybe inspire or help, or some ideas will come from that. That's what I feel also like. It doesn't end. Certain, I mean, I already found this space that I was searching for, but this space also tells me that there is infinite wisdom to be discovered now that I'm able to enjoy that. It presents in a way that, yeah, you are here now, you found it, so yeah, come on, there is a lot to discover. Play around here. Like children. I would love to, if you allow us, to talk with Francesca about what she felt in that moment,
Yeah.
to be able to present her perspective also.
Mm-hmm. And we recorded when she was taking the pulse.
What she was explaining and
Yeah.
saying, oh,
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
So I need to bring a flash memory or something like that
To share the videos?
to give you that, yeah, so you can pass me that information.
Sure.
Also, like, every day less questions, huh?
Yeah. Quieter.
at the beginning of the process, like, oh my God, how is this? How is this happening? Wow, come on, tell me how it's happening. But day by day, like, less questions, because we already have found our own truth, the responses, the answers to those questions within. And that's also the state of non-necessity, to be able to be your own master, to be the person that guides you, found the answers to your decisions, to those experiences that you choose within you.
I discovered that today I had this realization that it has always been that way, except we give that power away to somebody and they say something, but then we hear it a certain way. We're really only hearing our own voice. But now cut the middleman, just go within,
There is no third person. There is no necessity of third person.
It's part of the dream of separation. Part of that is giving our power away to other people. Let them make decisions for us. But underneath that, we'd always been making our own decision. The decision to give our power away, that's a decision too. Now we decide to take our power back. Not need other people to sustain us, to control us. And then when we hear one another, we hear better too. We're not hearing, will they make me happy or will they make me unhappy, depending on what they say. Because we have happiness already, so we just hear it. We actually hear one another without filtering, overlaying our hungers, our desires on one another. I had a thought today. Well, I journaled in my journal, like a little story, a child. Grandma, tell us about the old Earth you used to live in.
Oh, wow.
And I wrote but there's so many things to write, so I will eventually become a little story. But I feel at some time we'll just forget how it was when we dreamed separation and we dreamed that we needed so many things. You're like, well, when Grandma was your age, we used to have war. And we used to think we needed to eat food to sustain us. It was like we were blind and we couldn't see all of this. We couldn't see it. Really? That's impossible. What do you mean? Well, I know it's really hard to imagine, but that's how it was. Almost everybody on the planet lived like that. and we had this thing called money, and people thought they needed it. What's that? Oh, it's not even anything. They just thought up something that they needed. It's so hard to explain. And then slowly we got tired of hurting one another and hurting ourselves. And one at a time we started waking up. We started learning how to breathe again. We cleaned off the blinders and we could see the love that breathes us. And then just like that, this new earth was born. And here we are. I feel it will become like a legend, a children's story. It's like, there once was a time on Earth when humans were like this.
They used to work in offices, in boxes, and drive cars, and search for resources in petroleum, and things to create things to make them happy. But that was also focusing their attention in separating them from the real happiness that they were already carrying within. It's your story, sister. You will make it out your way. But really, I love that story. It will come up gloriously. I would love to read something like that, and then in the future, imagine children reading that. Like, what? What happened here? What a great history! My God. You know. Also, sister, you have to be conscious that this is interesting to focus our attention. Now that we are not going to focus our attention in the food and cooking and working for that and all that energy that the food used to take from us, now we have a lot of time, a lot of free space. Of course, you have your practice, your work, but still you have a lot of time that you used to focus on the food that you have available now. So in that time, we had the opportunity to focus our attention in things that make us happy. Activities, develop new things. For example, now you are writing this beautiful thing. Maybe your I am is a new way that your I am is focus your attention now. Maybe it's a talent that you have and that you maybe were focusing too much on the food that you were not giving attention to this talent that you carrying.
Yeah, I think also even when I'm in work, there is thinking, oh, I need to do this too. There's just a distraction there because thinking I need money, thinking I need food to survive, even though 99% of the time in my work, working with helping people, healing people, that's very fulfilling. There's also an element of, and I need to pay the bills so I can buy my groceries, so I blah, blah. So I just feel like it's in my integrity now to honestly say I can clear that out of my system. It's so powerful to just know that I'm in my truth of being in that desire to help people with their healing and not need their money so I can buy food, so I can survive. Otherwise, I could die, you know?
It's also beautiful to live in the reciprocity, you know, in the giving and receiving, because it's the way how the universe is expanding, you know. You create new things with that, and that creates happiness, and also you sharing your work. So that's a reciprocity. It's good to live that. But now that you live that, you can focus that reciprocity and the benefits and all the prosperity that this cycle generates in things that you feel more comfortable doing, you know?
Yeah.
Without the pushing to do that with those resources, you know?
Yeah. I also see now that soon there will be no more illness, no more disease. And so it's been my calling for a long time to do more work to share, workshops, to share ways for people to cultivate themselves rather than look to other people to help them. And so now that's naturally where I've been feeling called to do, and now this is genuine. My experience is that this is very soon the end of disease for everybody. For me it has happened, so why not for you too? And how do we enjoy it once we discover all the power that lies here? There's so much to learn and explore. And so that's the new direction. Not helping people heal from illness. That's just the last step of the old world before we leap into the new world.
Beautiful.
Stepping into owning that power that we have that's sustaining us. And then, wow, this cosmic playground to explore. Let's do that together. Doctors will be out of work very soon. The world knows that doctors aren't fixing problems. Because nobody can fix the problem except for each of us to go within. In the new world, there will be no doctors, no police, no jails.
No grocery store.
No crime, because people couldn't imagine hurting one another. Also no crime because there's no scarcity, so nobody would want to steal.
Exactly, full of abundance because we have all these resources flowing permanently. Great day 7. So tomorrow your husband is coming in the afternoon or in the morning to visit you?
I haven't heard from him yet.
Yeah.
Maybe he called Ryan. I don't know. We'll check in.
You're thinking to drive when it's not necessary to record the expire, I think.